Hey guys, so today I wanted to give you a quick update and a little bit of an analysis of the recent Afterlight Box session that I posted. Now as far as the house goes, very little's changed. I mean, it's still been a bit noisy. I'm still hearing a lot of footsteps and commotion around the house. But then when I go downstairs, when I check through the footage, nothing's out of place. Barring the Raggedy Ann doll falling from the shelf, I've not really caught anything else moving, so I'm still kind of holding out for that substantial bit of evidence before I start posting all that. I've got nights and nights of just sounds, and it's, you know what I mean, it's just not good enough, so there's that. Now, as far as communication goes, it's much the same. I've done EVP sessions, I've still got a couple to go through, in fact. I've done Spirit Box sessions, I've even brought out the PSP-11 in the hopes that having the two Spirit Boxes running in tandem, that would help the communication, and there's been responses, but the relevant ones have been so few and far between that, again, I'm not happy to call it spirit communication. Now, last week's Afterlight Box session was one of the better ones, and even that, it wasn't great, but because of the consecutive relevant responses, I'm more happy to call that spirit communication. I mean, right off the bat, I asked if there was anybody present. It said a spirit, and then I said, can you talk through this? It said yes. I said, why did you move the Raggedy Ann doll? It said energy. Now, energy alone, I've been experimenting with different forms of energy for them, you know, using the EM pump, the plasma lamps and stuff, you know. That's a relevant responses. So having those three consecutively, that's got to count for something. I mean, it might not be great, it might not be completely mind-blowing, but I think that counts for something. I would definitely say that them three at least were spirit communication. Now, what really got me is when I turned on the Sanctus box. It was that particular sequence that I thought was the most interesting. Now, right before I even turned that Sanctus Talk on, right, I went to switch it on, it came through the spirit box saying, warning. Now, I obviously didn't hear that in real time, and then when I switched the Sanctus Talk on, the first word that came out of that was threat. Now, the next full word to come out of it was the word force, and obviously I didn't hear warning in real time, but threat and force, the natural conclusion, the first thing you're going to ask is, am I under threat of some kind of force? And I did, and what it said was Jess. Now, obviously Jess alone means nothing, like that doesn't answer my question. I mean, you could argue maybe I was talking to a Jess, but it still wouldn't make a great deal of sense unless, and I know a lot of you guys thought the same thing, when the device actually said Jess, it sounded like yes. Jess. Thought I said yes to start with. That was a little bit worrying. Now, I'm not going to draw a conclusion here. I'm going to ask you, plain and simple, because I don't understand. Is it possible that they meant yes, but it came out Jess on the device? Because, I mean, this is a new device. It's the first time they've used it. They're trying to manipulate it using their electromagnetic energy, and it just came out wrong. Like, they meant one thing, it came out another. And the only evidence I've really got sort of to back that up is the word force. Now, when they first tried to say force, they just got the letter F out. Like, it didn't come out force, it came out F. And then they tried again and it came out force. So is it possible that it's kind of that learning curve mentality where they're trying to get it to do one thing, but it's just slightly misunderstood? Maybe the energy wasn't right. Maybe it's even been manipulated by something else nearby. Because the thing about these Ovilus devices are they're sensitive to electromagnetic fields, which is why I didn't have an external power source. I didn't have an EM pump or a plasma lamp nearby, because I wanted it to be unaffected by anything. I wanted it to be as clean as possible. So I guess my question to you is, what do you guys think of Ovilus type devices like the Sanctus Talk or the Ovilus itself? Do you think spirits can manipulate it? Do you think it's possible that it's a learning curve like anything else? You've got to practice with it before you master actually using it to communicate. Do they need to practice? Can they get it wrong? Can they try to do one thing? Can it come out somewhere else? Like, I literally do not know. I only know the theory behind it. So that's pretty much it as far as this analysis goes. I thought that sequence was really interesting, and I'm sure a lot of you be happy to know I did smudge the house afterwards, because it's quite negative, you know what I mean? You got warning, threat, force, and then when I ask for confirmation, possibly says the word yes. Like, even without that, warning, threat, and force are still pretty negative. So I did smudge the house, because I do believe that it's better safe than sorry. I asked the spirits to leave, and, you know what I mean, that double whammy, and hopefully that's kept whatever it is at bay. Obviously, it's kind of hard to tell right now because the house is being a bit noisy, but it hasn't got any louder. It's kind of sat at a level, so it doesn't seem like it's got worse since that communication session. So that's pretty much it anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think, and as always, I'll post any and all activity as and when I get it.